Hey folks, Mark here with The Rational Workforce. Thanks so much for tuning in. So, it's been a while, huh? It's been probably, as I record this, 6-7 weeks since the last post. So, I know I've gone AWOL. I've had a few of you just reach out to check in and say, is the channel still alive? Am I still alive? I'm fine, the channel's still going on. It's just been a season for the family, you know? So, quick update on life in general. Shortly after I recorded that last video, my father-in-law, tremendous guy, war veteran, Navy guy, spent the lion's share of his working life after he got out of the Navy working on these incredible submarines, getting them built up, getting them repaired, getting them back out to sea. Just an amazing larger-than-life guy. And he just started to fall ill. Age caught up with him, and on Christmas Day he passed away. He was in peace. He kept his sense of humor to the end. He was surrounded by family, but these things are always tough, right? So I did what any good husband, good dad would do. You kind of put a pause on everything else, and you make sure your family's okay. You take care of your family. So we're all kind of going through our healing on that. For me, I lost my own dad over a decade now, and they were actually pretty good buds when they were alive together. So I like to think my dad's upstairs showing him the ropes in heaven, but that explains a little bit of my absence, and it also kind of gets me to another point around the channel. You know, whenever you have these big moments in life happen, you, I think, tend to look at things through a little bit of a different lens. Maybe you do a little more introspection. Maybe you're reminded a little more of your own mortality. You know, as a guy in his early 50s, you know, I'm getting older. And, you know, I looked at the channel and the content that I was putting out and been able to get 1,500 subscribers the past year and a half since we launched it, and you're all incredible, and I really appreciate you more than you know. But I also think I've got more to offer. So our format is we kind of follow what's going on in the news. We deconstruct some of the stories, usually try to do it with a little bit of a wink and a nod, make things a little light and fun. But I started the channel to kind of shine a light on some of these issues that I don't think was getting a fair shake in the media, or I feel like was misrepresenting the impact to the American worker. So we covered things like, you know, DEI, and specifically how it has been weaponized to some degree. And again, my perspective on this was as the father of neurodivergent children, as someone who has seen, you know, ideological differences being used as weapons against people in the workplace. I just felt it was incumbent on me to try and tell these stories from a little bit more of a centrist standpoint, right? Get away from the right and left fighting bullshit and just talk a little bit more about what was really going on. So, you know, I think that was important. There's a lot of other issues that we covered. We're going to continue to cover stories that impact the American worker. But by the same token, you know, I feel like doing things that are maybe a little more positive and a little more hopeful and a little more practical for everyone. So one of the things that I always preach is bet on yourself, right? We've seen so many layoffs, we've seen so many challenges in the workplace that the notion and the security of a weekly paycheck that comes from somebody else's checkbook is a fallacy. It works great until it doesn't. And as someone who's been laid off a couple of times, I know exactly how that feels when you get the news that time for you to find a plan B. So I ended up punching on a corporate almost 6 years ago now and started my own consulting business. And I haven't looked back. It's been going great. I'm having a blast. And, you know, the timing was inopportune. I had one kid just about going into a really expensive college. I had a second that was just starting college tours. I've got my third that's kind of bringing up the rear in high school. So it wasn't a great time to start the business. And then you layer on top that less than a year later, the world shut down for COVID. and I'm sure my wife was questioning my sanity, but survived it and came through it and thrived and learned a lot of lessons and learned a lot of do's and learned some don'ts along the way. And if I can kind of share that with you or anyone that's thinking about, maybe going out on their own, that's what I'd like to cover a little bit more of within the channel. So another reason why I want to mix things up a little bit with the channel, maybe expand its content, is, again, you go through something big like a death in the family, especially someone that's so close. And it makes you think about your own choices and how you spend your time and what you're doing with your own life. A little bit of a different, maybe more introspective lens. And I love my day job. I love my clients. I love my business. I've got some cool ideas to keep it growing and take that into some new directions too. Got a lot of other things on the punch list that I have been paying lip service to, but not really getting around to undertaking. So, for example, I've got an outline for a book. It's a book that honors my own dad. And it's an opportunity for me to share some of his humor and some of his wit and some of his wisdom that served me not only in life, but in business. And I just haven't been getting to it. So I need to prioritize that. I want to share that with you and have some episodes that kind of talk about how that's coming together. I need to get more serious about my own health. Good God, have I put on weight? Like a lot of weight. Like not just COVID weight, like a lot of weight. So I need to get serious about my own health and my own fitness, so I can be here for a long time for my own children and my wife and my family too. So I want to cover some of the things I'm doing in that. I want to spend more time with my family, more time with my faith. I've got 2 kids that are graduating university this year. My youngest is 16, so I'm going to lose him soon. My wife and I are coming up on our 30th wedding anniversary. It'll be 29 this year, but 30 next year. And I just really want to be spending more time with the people I care about and the people who are the whole reason why I do what I do. What's the point if I'm working myself and providing for them, but not enjoying them? So I'm going to carve out some more time to do that. And then finally, actually launching a new product, like an actual honest to goodness product. I'm a marketing guy. I've been a CMO in the technology space, specifically the software space, for just about my whole career. But I'm actually starting to develop a new product. And based on the meetings that I had this morning, it's getting like really real. So that's an entire journey that I think can maybe help some people out who might have the same idea, who might have some great ideas, but they're not taking action on them. This will be a home for you too. So there's a lot going on. You're going to see probably a lot more experimentation within these videos. I'm going to try to get out from behind that desk as much as I love my set and as much as I love being able to produce the shows as we always have been over the past year and a half with the channel. Just maybe mixing up locations. Could be just me hanging out in my 80s arcade in my playroom. I don't want to get into a rut. I feel like the channel's great. It's become a little bit more of a chore. You've probably noticed a little more time between episodes. Part of that is work got busy, life got busy. But also, I think a lot of the reasons why I started the channel, a lot of the things that I wanted to call out, are starting to be viewed by a bigger audience, in terms of more and more people are kind of waking up to some of these challenges, and changes are actually happening for the better. As I record this, about 3 hours ago, Trump was sworn in as the 47th president. So there's change all over the place that's going on. And a lot of the things he talked about are going to impact the workforce. So we're going to continue to follow it. But some of the bigger reasons why I got this channel started are starting to be addressed in meaningful ways. And I think that's great. So at the end of the day, it's time to evolve, right? It's time to grow a little bit. Let's try to change a little bit. I hope I'm going to keep all of you with me. I hope we'll grab some new people. But most of all, I hope it's going to help any of you out there who are thinking about starting your own business, trying something new, pushing yourself to do something different, not accepting things the way they are. There's a lot of positive change that can happen out there, but you got to take the steps to do it. And you got to hold yourself accountable, And you got to recognize that things aren't always sunshine and roses, and you got to just keep going through when those times get tough. And if I can be a voice for you, if I can lend any insight to you, if you can learn from my experiences, then that's so much the better. So anyway, there you have it. Look for more frequent posts to ramp up again. Yes, I'm fine. The family's fine. We're all coming through this. We're all looking forward to a great 2025. I hope you're doing the same. And as usual, ring the bell, click like, click subscribe, do all the things that keep the channel growing. And again, thanks for your concern. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate you more than you know. Have a good one.